Madam Chairwoman, the meeting of the Engrossment Rules Resolution and Presidential Credentials Committee, not Chairwoman, Madam Clerk, is called to order. Would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vollmer. Alderwoman Howard.
Present.
Alderman Ornowitz.
Here.
Alderwoman Green. Alderman Odenberg. Chair Lady Tyus.
Present.
President Reed.
Here.
For President, you have quorum.
Thank you. Being as there is a quorum here, the meeting will begin. First thing on the minutes, because I'm getting used to these minutes that we have now, and I want to really thank the clerk. This is excellent. We will need a motion. Do we? Ooh, we don't have the minutes. We can't do the minutes.
When he comes back out.
Okay, we will move along. We have board bills for engrossment. I did send you a link, and also the clerk sent you actually each of the board bills. So we had several ways that we could look at the board bills. So, and I actually went through them. And so we will start with the first one, and then that way we can let the president go and he can go do his business. Board Bill 24 is a board bill sponsored by Alderman Vollmer. One of the things we talked about was that we were going to, from now on, we're going to let people know that they have to have a title. So I'm going to put out a note to all the people introducing board bills that per our rules, we're supposed to have a title on these board bills. But anyway, board bill is, we do. 2019 transportation. Okay, a little title from the clerk. Thank you. Okay, so if any of you all have had a chance to read over it, I appreciate it. If you haven't, we're going to go a few minutes to look over Board Bill 24 to see if we have any, if you find any mistakes. If not, then we'll do a motion to pass it out, the do pass recommendation that is engrossed. I have already read them.
Okay. I make a motion, we pass out.
Wait a minute, just a minute.
I'm sorry, I thought you asked for a motion.
I said we will give it a few minutes to
Okay.
see if,
I'm good.
okay. Take all your time, don't feel pressured, Larry.
I read them already.
Okay.
I read them
All right, great. Are we all ready then?
Yes.
Okay.
I make a
entertain-
motion that we pass out of the Engrossment Committee, Board Bill number 24 with the do pass recommendation.
Second.
It's been moved and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now, if you don't mind, we'll do previous roll.
Previous
Yes.
roll is
Okay.
going to be.
Thank you very much.
I'm gonna review this email before I have to leave, so I'll be right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. Okay. Next one we have is Board Bill number 4. Pretty easy. It's a bill sponsored by Alderwoman Pam Boyd. It's a four-way stop at the intersection of Garishee and Goodfellas. Entertain a motion? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. After reading Board Bill number 4, I see nothing wrong with this bill. All looks in order, so I make a motion that we pass out Board Bill number 4 from the Engrossment and Rules Committee with a due passage recommendation.
Previous roll.
We need a second.
Second. Previous roll.
We have a motion and a second and a request for previous roll. There are no objections. Well, bill number 4 is passed out with a due pass recommendation to be engrossed. Okay, the next one we have is Board Bill 14, Committee Substitute. It's an honorary name for Father Bionde on the intersection of Lindo and Grand Boulevard. Take a minute to make sure that we have read the board bill. Don't see any problems with it. Anything that needs to be corrected?
Madam Chair,
Alderwoman Howard?
after reviewing Board Bill number 14, committee substitute, titled
Someone.
honorary naming, I recommend that we pass this out of committee with the out of the engrossment committee with the due pass recommendation.
Second,
I hear a motion for previous roll.
previous row.
There's been a motion and a second and previous roll. Any objections? If not, Board Bill 14 committee substitute has been passed out of committee with a due pass recommendation. The next one is Board Bill 16. It's a street vacation by Alderman Coder. Has a fiscal note.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes. Alderwoman Howard.
Section B in the fiscal note, okay, never mind. Section B, complete section B in the form below. So if they didn't answer yes to any of the previous
Right.
questions, does that mean they don't have to complete
Correct.
section B? Okay.
If answer is yes to any of the above
Right.
questions, and it was a no on everything.
Okay, then, yeah, I make a motion that we pass Board Bill Street Vacation number 16 out of committee, out of the engrossment committee with a due pass recommendation. And all on the
Second.
floor.
Previous row.
We have a motion and a second, and request for previous roll. Do we have any objections? If not, Board Bill 16, street vacations passed out of rules with a due pass recommendation, engrossment and rules. Next one is Board Bill 22, sponsored by Alderwoman Carol Howard, which is a parking district.
Madam Chairman,
Alderman,
after reading Board Bill number 22, seeing that everything is in order, I'd like to make a recommendation that we pass Board Bill number 22 out of the Rules and Engrossment Committee with the due pass recommendation. Sorry about that.
Need a
I thought I
second.
had it all.
Second. Previous roll.
We have a motion that Board Bill 22, sponsored by Alderwoman Howard, as a parking district, be passed out of rules and engrossment with a due pass recommendation. It's been moved and second, and a request for previous roll. Is there any objection to previous roll? If not, Board Bill 22 passes out of rules and engrossment with a due pass recommendation. Next board bill is number 33. Alderwoman Pam Boyd, is entitled Traffic Controlling.
Madam Chair.
Alderwoman Howard.
Having read Board Bill number 32, Traffic Controlling, sponsored by Alderman Pamela Boyd, I recommend that we pass this out of committee with a due pass recommendation.
It's Board Bill 33, right?
3,
Yeah.
Did I say 33?
Yeah, 32, I thought.
32.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, my mistake. 33.
Okay, we have a motion,
Second,
a request for
previous roll.
We have a motion and a second that Board Bill 33, sponsored by Alderwoman Pamela Boyd, which is a traffic controlling board bill, be passed out with a due pass recommendation from Rules and Engrossment. If there are no objections to previous roll, Board Bill 33 is passed out of Rules and Engrossment. The next one we have, okay, good, he put them in the order of people too, that's really good.
Yes, he did.
I'm liking this clerk, okay. We have Board Bill number 3. The first one is sponsored by Alderwoman Davis. It's the FAA Land Lease Agreement. I have a question and maybe just a comment. The land lease is attachment 1. And I think, and I'll just tell the clerk as a note, we should have attachment 1 on it so that, and we refer to it, that we should add the title on top of the land lease as attachment 1. So people will know that.
That it's there.
Right. Then there is a fiscal note. So whoever does the motion, we're gonna do it
Okay.
with the motion of making attachment 1 part of the land lease. So
Okay.
we move to pass it out with the correction
Okay.
that we add attachment. Do you all think that makes sense?
I think it should,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So that they don't have to go hunting for it.
Right.
I make a motion that we pass Board Bill number 3 titled FAA land lease agreement with the condition that they attach the land lease agreement to the bill.
No, it's attached, that we put the word attachment 1 at the top.
Oh, we indicate the attachment is
Right.
part of the total bill under, I guess, the title?
You know, you actually put it on the land lease so that when people,
Okay.
Are looking
okay,
for
to
it.
label it.
right, and you label
I
it,
get it.
right. That
Okay,
way you know
okay.
that it is attachment 1.
With the condition that
Right.
we label attachment 1 as part of the board bill.
Second.
We have a motion and a second that,
Previous roll.
and we have previous roll, that Board Bill 3, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, is a FHA land lease agreement be passed out with the condition that we label the land lease attachment 1 so that people will know that it is attachment 1. Any objection to previous roll? Hearing none, Board Bill 3 is passed out with a do pass recommendation. Okay, the next one is Board Bill 13. And Board Bill 13 is also sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, and it's an airport revenue bond. We love these agendas, I want to say, Mr. Clerk.
Thank you very much.
And we like the titles, okay?
On yourself.
Right. I think I made a note on this one, I didn't bring my original. I think I noted on this one, I didn't bring mine, that I see where we have exhibits A, B, and C, but I missed where they were in the actual board bill.
Exhibit 1.
I don't see it at all. I think
It's at the end.
yeah, I see the exhibits, but I'm saying I don't think they refer to them at all
Oh, in the,
in the board
Oh,
bill.
bill.
Usually when you have an
Yeah,
exhibit,
yeah.
it refers to it
yeah.
someplace in the board, and I think that was the problem I found. Because here's the fiscal note. Here's section A. Okay. So section B, maybe that didn't have to be referred to. Let's see, maybe section exhibit 1 attached. So like here, okay, I see where it says, okay, here's exhibit 1. It says exhibit 1, okay, there it is. I missed it. Exhibit 1 is referred to on page 15.
Oh, yeah, exhibit 1, 2.
And then 2 is referred to also on page 15. Okay, I missed it before.
yeah, it's bolded.
Yes. As it should be. Then exhibit A and B, okay. Let's see, now that's what I'm looking for. A and B is it says in 8. What page is this?
Now, on page 18, they refer to escrow agreement. Is that part of the attachments? And they also refer to Rule 15C.
See, that's what I'm saying, this one was confusing to me,
Yeah.
okay? Because if you look on page 8 of Article 2, which is part of let's go section A, section B, exhibit 1. So part of exhibit 1, they also refer to exhibit A and B. So that's what I was, so A and B must be part of exhibit 1, and that makes no, they don't have this done
Well,
right.
there's exhibit A, and then, let's see.
Yeah, but it's, when they say exhibit A, and exhibit B, it's part of exhibit 1. Okay, so. Exhibit 1 is the 23rd supplemented indenture of trust, which comes right after the fiscal note.
Well, and then, I guess, on exhibit 1, they have
This whole
a
thing is.
list of contents here.
Right, okay, right. Right, so here's the list of contents. It goes through each thing, each page. But part of, inside of exhibit 1, when you get to page, what is it? 8, I think it is.
Eight, or just plain 8?
Page 8 of the exhibit 1.
Okay.
It says exhibit A and exhibit B. So it's part of exhibit 1, but it's labeled exhibit A and B. That was what I was a little confused about.
Well, there are attachments labeled such.
Exhibit A, right.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find them, and now I see where they are. They're part of exhibit 1. Because here's exhibit C. So here's B and A. That's exhibit B. That's part of a different exhibit, that's part of exhibit 2.
Not to take away from what you're doing, but if you look at A4 on the page, none of these are filled in, and I don't know why not. Unless
Right.
that's to be provided later as they sell the bonds?
Yes,
Okay,
okay, but,
that's fine. That's just a question I have.
yes, no, this is the time to ask these kind of questions. So, under exhibit 1, I don't see anything. I see under exhibit 2, they have B and C. Who did this? Okay, here's exhibit A. Okay, here it is, exhibit A. So, okay, A1 is exhibit A. Okay, so I see now, so. And this is the sign, and then exhibit B, B1. So this is, I'm just trying to see how they label. So this is all part, exhibit 1 actually has exhibit A and B as part of it.
Right.
Okay. So then when we get to exhibit 2,
Two.
then they also should have some exhibits as part of it.
Indenture of trust.
Okay, so it has exhibit A and B also. And how are they labeled? B1,
There's C.
and A1. But they're labeled, if you look at it, it's B1. So I think it should have something else so we know which exhibit goes with which, okay?
Exactly, because
Okay.
it's confusing to have
Exactly.
them both
Right.
A and B.
And then B1 and
Right.
A1, so I think that we should,
Recommend they label
Right.
those B1, B2, B.
or when you say B1 and B2, put exhibit 1, so that it knows that which one goes to each one, you know what I'm saying? Let's see here. So the first one, exhibit 1, when we see exhibit A.
It should be A1 and A2, I guess is what you're saying.
Okay,
So we know,
that's the first exhibit. Then when we go into the second exhibit, it should be A2 and B2. You understand what I'm saying?
I know, I agree.
Right, so you know what is attached.
That in other words, if this becomes detached, you know this is Exhibit A going with the number 2.
Right, exactly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay, let's see here. So let's get my
And
stuff.
B.
Right,
Yeah.
because I know they're gonna be like, who told?
So if they have
actually are
Exhibit
reading.
2,
Right,
it should be
so B1, there should be exhibit,
A1, Exhibit 1, A1, Exhibit, and B1, and then Exhibit 2, A2, B2, right?
yes,
Yeah.
right. So that's what I'm finding the pages.
I'll do the second one, you do the first one?
I'm already working on the second one, because.
Okay, all right. You have the pages written down?
Here,
Okay.
so B2, B1, it's on page B1, but the exhibit should, see, that's what I don't like.
Yeah, the pages assigned, the pagination is the same,
Right, so,
and it should be A14, A1, A11, A12, A1, yeah.
right. Okay, let's start at the beginning so we can get it right. I don't want
Right.
to mess it up. Okay, so that's the board deal, that's all good. And this is the table of contents. So we're starting with exhibit 1. And so, get to exhibit 1, page 8, 9.
So if we start on the appendix of this table of contents,
So this is a whole document in itself. The 23rd Supplemental Indenture of Trust is a document in itself.
yeah.
And part of the document, when you get past page 7, there's something that said Exhibit 1 attached. So part of the document of the 23rd Supplemental Indenture of Trust is Exhibit 1, which comes right after page 7 in this document. Okay.
Of the board bill is what you're talking about, right? After page 7 of the board bill?
No, after page, they got, so the first few pages of the board bill, let's see,
No, there's
so,
22, yeah.
right.
Then
Okay,
you
so-
have the fiscal note.
Right, so we go through pages 1, 2, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, continue to go through the, get this out of the way. 13, 14.
And on page 13, it talks about the A1. I don't know if that's the bonds, that's not the same thing.
On page 13,
Well, no, wait a minute, page 7,
okay, so,
they talk about series, I don't know if the A1 bonds is referring to this, because then you get into the A1, is that, yeah.
oh no, that's not the numbering.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
no,
so what I'm saying, of the complete
Right.
board bill, we go to 15, 16, 17, and then we get to the fiscal note, is how I have it. Okay, so then we have the fiscal note, and that's, does this bill authorize section A? Okay, and section B, that's the fiscal note. And that's, 4 pages for fiscal note. Is that what you have? Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we get to another document, it's called the 23rd Supplemental Indenture of Trust. And it's a full document that has how many pages? It has 21 pages and 2 signature pages. So it's a full document. And within this document of only this, it then refers to exhibits. Now, what I'm saying, starting on page, there's a A1 which says Exhibit A. I'm thinking that this all goes to the 23rd Supplemental Indenture of Trust. This is Exhibit
Right.
A and B.
So, do we want to label each page number with an A?
Okay, at the bottom it says A1 and B1. But what I'm saying,
But when you get into the pages, they're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if you want to.
what I'm thinking is that we need to make sure, since we have 2 different documents,
Exhibits, yeah.
that we need to make sure, let me just get it straightened out here, okay. So that's one thing. Then we have Exhibit 2. When you get to Exhibit 2, the same thing happens. When you get to their A and B, it's labeled the same thing. So I'm saying, is there a way we can label this so we know that all of this goes together? Okay, that this is part of the 23rd Supplemental Indenture of Trust. There's nothing to, if we took this out of the board bill, we wouldn't know what this went to.
Right.
Okay, so from page A1 of the first to,
Some way of putting, and to B, I guess, if we have A1 to A7 and then B1 to B.
Exhibit 2. They have their exhibits, so I'm being careful because I know when we used to put these things together, when I used to work at a firm, so they label it this way, but they don't do it thinking that it's gonna be part of a board bill, is the problem. So this is their whole exhibit, and for them, they have it labeled just the way they need it, but we don't have it labeled the way we need it to know if something comes apart, what belongs to what. So under Exhibit 2, what about like, okay, just starting, couldn't we say, I'm looking at Exhibit A, couldn't we say Exhibit A1 of Exhibit 2?
You could do
Exhibit
A1
B1 of Exhibit 2.
A1-2, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that we know that it's part of,
And that could be down in the lower
in the
margin.
just right. So, like right here where we got, this is of Exhibit B1 of Exhibit 2. So we know that it belongs to
Do
this.
that, yeah.
Okay, and let's do the
And
same
then you do
thing.
the same on Exhibit 1.
Right, and you do it with, right.
And start on A1
Right.
of,
Right. That makes sure that we have everything the way it's supposed to be. So we know where everything goes.
and so that would be down in the margin on each one.
Right.
Here, you'd A1 of Exhibit 1, and then you'd have that all the way through. You'd have B1 of Exhibit 1.
Right.
And then it would just go through on each, in other words, you just repeat this on each page.
Okay.
So that way,
And it's only a couple of things. That way, because right now, they have them labeled the same. And if you pulled out Exhibit B, you wouldn't know if Exhibit B goes to the first exhibit or the second exhibit.
Okay.
yeah, because they've got them both, Exhibit A, Exhibit
Right.
B, but they're, for two different,
Exactly.
yeah, exhibits.
I like having a principal teacher. I like that.
Because if they ever, I mean, the thing is it just makes it easier to understand what you're reading,
Right,
because it's so voluminous.
yes.
How do you like that word?
I actually know what it meant.
I know you do. That when you get to reading it, if you're interrupted, it's like, okay, where was I?
Right,
And it helps you kind of have a bearing on where you are, just by looking at the bottom of it.
so let's look at what we did to make sure. Larry, did you get what we were doing? Okay, so does that make sense? So, okay.
When you break it down, it does.
Okay, well, because there's.
No, yeah. We don't want to be confusing.
Right.
Oh, it gives it a little more acuity and refines it.
Right. So did you get the pages that it needed to be on?
What is it?
It's just exhibit pages.
Yes.
Right.
So, the what I marked was exhibit 2, correct?
Is this one of, let's see, starting from the beginning, so we make sure we
Here,
have.
if we just,
Here's the fiscal note. Okay, so we do with the fiscal note. The first thing we have is Exhibit A. It starts A1. It's right after the fiscal note. And it's right. So we go through, the board bill itself has the first 17
Okay.
pages. Then it has a fiscal note. You got that? Then it has Exhibit A. After, there's a couple of pages of fiscal notes. It's like 3 pages. Okay, right. So you have Exhibit 1 right in there. Okay, and then, so Exhibit 1, that's all right. Everything in there is Exhibit 1. And I took, see, this is
and
what happened.
here's what I noted, Alderman, is that this is A1 of Exhibit 1, and then you would just go through and repeat that on each
Right.
page. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You could paste it on each page. I can
Well,
give
you don't have to
this.
paste it. You
Oh,
actually.
I mean on her, yeah.
Yeah, you go
on
that,
the
once you,
computer.
no, they actually, you don't even have to
it'll-
paste it.
it'll
You can go
probably,
in there and you can
just
tell
say
it to
add
do that.
to each page,
Mhm.
huh? Between A1 and B1.
I'm looking for exhibit.
You're looking for.
You can have this when I get done.
Wait a
if
minute,
you
wait,
want, or-
no, you're looking for, you don't, this should be, you don't have exhibit, okay, so here's your table of contents, here, it should come up, right up under here. You got yours still in the right order. We don't, we've been tearing ours apart, so when you take this through, you will get to. Here you go.
Okay.
That says of exhibit 2.
And
So
see,
you
this
missed it. Wait a
page,
minute.
now, wait a minute, is this
She's
page,
missing, let's get a clean one.
okay, let me
There.
ask you this one doesn't have a number on it, is that an error? 'Cause
Yep.
this is, okay, so this should be page 1 of,
Okay, let's get a clean one, because we've been through, and this is what happens when you tear something apart. Here should be a clean one. Marlene, what board, 13? Okay. So we're gonna keep everything in order. Okay, so the first few pages, 6, 9, 22, this is all the board bill. 14, and this one is put together differently. Okay, this is interesting. 16. So here, 17 goes right through 18, 19, so this one has the first 22 pages all together before the fiscal note. That makes sense to me. So we may have had one that wasn't put together right. Okay, so
the first 22 pages.
should all be together,
Together,
the board
yeah,
bill.
and
Mine
then the
wasn't.
fiscal notes.
Okay. So.
Yeah, that's what mine is, I
Okay.
believe, yeah, wait a minute now.
My fiscal note.
After the signature page and then the fiscal note.
No, this one has page 22 of 22, and then it has the fiscal note right behind
After
it.
22.
Right.
Page 22.
Okay.
That's what's throwing us off.
Uh-huh, this is what,
Then after you got then after 22, you got the physical note, and then after that, you have section A and section B.
I know I had a fiscal note.
well, for me and mine, the one I have is Exhibit 1 is next. Okay, so the fix.
And mine says.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, it's a fiscal note. Then Section A is part of the fiscal note. See, that's part of.
Yes.
All of that, the first 4 pages are fiscal notes. So the four pages after the bill, those are all fiscal notes. Right up till you see Exhibit 1.
And you know, it looks like some of these are on two-sided and some of.
Exactly. Somebody,
That could be where confusion is.
gotta be
Well,
more
my
careful.
fiscal note is somehow,
Missing.
I know it was here,
Then we got up here, and then after that, we got
unless it got mixed up. Wait a minute, let me just,
exhibit 1.
Can you do me a favor and get a stapler? So I'm gonna keep this separate so we know we have this right. And just what we're doing now, some of them are on double-sided and some of them aren't. These
Yeah,
are-
There's exhibit
that's where the
one.
confusion's
Okay.
coming in at.
Right.
okay, here's the fiscal note.
You got it? Okay,
I
the
do,
fiscal
I
note should
do,
be
and
right after
the
page
fiscal
22.
note is right
Yes.
after, yes. I was
Okay.
I was in a different section.
Okay, so the first thing we have, the board bill is 22 pages. Then we have the fiscal
Okay.
note. So we're on the same,
We're good now.
so then after the
And
fiscal
then we
note,
have
which is
the
4
fiscal note,
pages,
Which,
4 pages of fiscal note.
okay, all right.
Then we have Exhibit 1,
Okay,
okay? We have that,
and that is
just one of
21
those,
pages?
it says,
Oh,
just says
okay,
Exhibit
just
1
that
Exhibit
one.
one.
attached
Okay.
here, right,
Okay.
yep. I know. That's you all.
And then the
That-
table of contents.
So what she has, we just have a blank attached to hers, somebody did double-sided, so,
Oh, okay.
so that's some of the confusion, so that'll be a talk with
And
the
yeah,
staff.
we'll have, because sometimes they come down here from the.
From them,
Whoever.
right, and
Right.
they're double-sided or one
Exactly, and
side,
some
whichever
not.
way,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, okay, so
But we
then,
need to note whenever where they come, we should be consistent.
now we know, right, because we'll be looking, okay, so now it's the 23rd supplemental indenture of trust, okay? And so then we have the table of
Now,
contents.
now, just for clarity, there's no number on that first page.
So that's just a
No,
cover
no,
title
on
page.
this one, on this one. It's the first page after that, you know.
Okay,
and-
sometimes people don't
And then the table
put
of
it- right.
contents.
Sometimes in law,
And sometimes
they don't put
it on the
page
first
one, right,
page, yeah.
right,
Just
so,
so
right.
we're consistent though, because I
Right.
think the other one does have a page one.
And we will go through, so let's get together all of this part, that's all part of the same thing.
Exhibit
And she-
1.
Yes.
And that's, exhibit 1 is.
Okay, so,
21 pages, right?
21 pages, but some more part of this, actually, it goes all the way to Exhibit 2. Everything up to Exhibit 2 is part of Exhibit 1.
One, right.
Right, and I'm
But I
saying,
mean, that-
right,
that's-
it's 21 pages, that's exactly right.
Okay. And then after that,
There's a signature page. And it still, I like, see how it says under there 23rd
Signature
supplemental?
page one,
So
yeah.
it tells us what it's part
23rd
of.
supplemental indenture, that's
Right,
part
it
of
te-
this, yeah.
Right, it tells us that it's.
Now, they
part-
were good about that.
Right.
On the signature pages.
Yes.
But they should have probably maybe put a footnote on all of them, so
Right.
they know, but that's
Right,
maybe
okay.
next time we'll.
Well, okay, then we have exhibit, this is where we started with the confusion.
Right.
Okay, so,
Exhibit A of Exhibit 1.
right. So what I'm saying is that's where it should start to say,
Exhibit A of Exhibit 1.
Yes. So we'll know that it's all part of Exhibit 1. Please.
But now, these signature pages, should they also be labeled like,
What, the signature page just identifies where they
Okay,
are.
where they
Because
are,
it
what they're
says,
part.
Oh, so
Okay.
this is exhibit 1.
yes, Exhibit A1 of Exhibit,
1?
right.
And that should be all the way through
Right, so then that lets us
Through
know,
page.
right,
A7.
Right.
Exhibit 1, right?
right. So then that lets us know that this all goes with Exhibit
Exhibit
1.
one.
So if it gets mixed up, we know where it goes.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am.
committee? Okay,
Yes, ma'am. And then you got B1, which is,
then it's
So what page are you going to?
page A7. You may be too far. Because you got double pages, remember, we don't. Okay, so it should only be a few more pages. Let's start back at the beginning. So here's Exhibit A, and then the next page is,
something's, yeah.
something's wrong.
Is that the right one?
Maybe just mark yours up,
Right,
Alderman Tyus, and let the clerk,
this is it, but,
assistant.
yeah,
clerk
that's all I
mark
have,
that
because
one
this is
rather than
different.
mess with
See,
this
I
one
got
that's
something
not
like that.
consistent.
Right, that's not,
Yeah,
that was part of the signature page for earlier.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that one, you have a-
That's
that's
a
a-
good copy.
You could take mine, okay? So, that's weird.
Wow.
Okay, so, here, we'll just mark this together, if you can read my chicken scratch. That's exhibit, okay, so then, yes. Get rid of all of that. So let's all be on the same page, so, start with Exhibit A1 of Exhibit 1, and it'll go through this one, I'm just gonna put checks, all the way 4, 5, 6, and then you got A7 of Exhibit 1. It says assignment on that page. Is that where we're all on the same page with that?
On what now? A7?
A7 assignment, A7
Yes.
of Exhibit 1 is just the assignment page.
Right.
Okay, so, then we get to B, Exhibit B. And this is of
Exhibit
Exhibit,
B of Exhibit 1.
of Exhibit 1, right.
Right.
And we're doing this so that we know the difference between, okay, go 4, 5, 6 is, B6 is assignment. And so, and then Appendix 1 is also one, we could still put that too,
After B?
right before B.
Okay.
It should have a page that says Appendix 1, just go ahead and put that of Exhibit 1 also, so we know that all goes with Exhibit 1. Is that what you have, right before?
After A7, it's here somewhere. It's here.
Okay.
I know it is.
That's what I got.
I was just looking at it, gonna ask a question about it.
Okay, no, so we got past A7. Let's see. Okay, let's see. So what we're in the Exhibit B
B,
of
yeah.
Exhibit 1, okay. So, after A7 of Exhibit 1, we should have Exhibit B, and that has, Exhibit B is pages 1 through 6. I actually stapled mine, so you'll you'll know where mine is. All right, okay. Okay, so this is, you can take it apart, but it's so we want it. Right. Did you say you had a question about A7?
No, the
Okay.
appendix is, that's what I was kind of looking for,
Right,
that one
and we're gonna put that up, that's
I1.
up exhibit 1.
of one. Okay.
Right.
I was freaking because I couldn't find it.
I think this one's right. Okay, now we're at exhibit 2. Just a blank page.
Yeah, got
Okay.
it.
Then this is the 24th supplemental. The other one was the 23rd?
Right.
Right, okay. And that
Go to
goes,
the table of contents.
yes.
You know, it's interesting because this is all double spaced. The other one was only single spaced. But I guess that's the way they do it. I don't know.
Or somebody was doing this in a hurry?
Or you had two different people working on it.
Yep. That happens. Okay. So that first page, the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, okay, 18, 19, 20, 21 pages. Then it's got the signature page.
1 and 2.
Okay, so that's all part of that. Then it's exhibit 1 again, exhibit A again, A1, and that's when we're gonna say of exhibit 2, right?
Okay.
Because this is exhibit 2, right?
Right.
Yes. Okay. This is a nice stapler. That may find its way into my office. Okay.
And then we get exhibit C.
Got to do that for A1, A2. We got B in there too, 3,
Uh-huh.
4. So A5, they all will say the same thing. A6, A7. Okay. Exhibit 2. So then that is all together. And then this is B1 of exhibit 2. And then C, to be inserted if applicable. So you can't insert anything after perfection.
That's, I'm wondering about the blanks here, do these need to be put in here?
No, the
Series-
bonds,
Bonds
they
do
don't
not.
do that, but
Okay.
exhibit C cannot be put in later.
So what
We're
is,
passing the
what
board.
is exhibit C that we're looking for here?
I'm saying that after perfection, you can't put anything
If
else in a
applicable,
board bill.
So I guess it leaves it,
This is a question I have right here. This is not correct, right? This is where you cannot put something in later after you've passed it and then say we passed the board bill.
right.
Hmm.
So do we take C out, or is that something that needs to be in there? I guess that's the question.
So, does anybody have a problem if we hold this part over and meet like Friday morning so that we
So
can
we can ask the
questions about
sponsor.
this? The sponsor and the board attorney and everybody. And
Right.
we could meet at like 9:15, 9:30 and we got everything
I'm
else.
good with
worked.
that.
But you can't put something in afterwards. This is the kind of thing that we're supposed to be stopping.
Looking, yeah. Yeah,
So maybe we should start getting these after second reading.
Well, actually, they say, we can't because you can, up until perfection, you can put stuff in.
Yeah, I know.
So why we get it, when we get it, it's supposed to be all
together.
together.
Right.
So if there's an exhibit C, she should give it to us. It should have been done in perfection. If it was not, she has to suspend the rules, send it back to perfection, have it perfected, and then come back to us. Does that make sense?
Yep.
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 Okay, so we got
I get
a
it.
big question mark on this one. Ask
About
attorney and
exhibit
sponsor.
C, exhibit 2.
Clerk, I'll speak to all the people about this one, so we're not gonna pass this out right now.
You said
Where's
the
my
meeting's
clip?
9:15 on-
9:15 okay for everybody, or
Yeah.
9:30? If we just have this one, 9:30 is good.
Okay.
The 9:30 is good, right, because it, again,
Well, can
hopefully,
the clerk check that out for us?
Well, we can ask them right now,
Where
but
is-
will you ask the clerk? We'll start
I
looking.
lost my clip. Is that it over there, or do you?
No, this is mine, but you can have it.
Oh, no, here it is. I found it. I was
See,
like,
she's just
where
like
can
my
it go
little
to?
sister. That's how my sister
Where
is.
can it go to?
Every time when she can't find something, she says, "You have
Oh,
mine."
I know.
I
I
said,
just always like, oh,
We've been playing
okay.
that game for 60 years, honey.
No, I had a friend call me, she goes, you know, over the weekend, she said, I was so rattled about something, you know, and she said, I'm walking around my house, she goes, you know, I hang keys where I'm gonna use them. I got my back door keys and my garage keys by my back door. She goes, and I cannot find my front door keys. She goes, and I'm tearing my house apart. She said, and I'm getting more upset by the minute, thinking, oh my God, I gotta get a locksmith, and I don't have, you know, it cost me money.
Okay.
And she said, I sat down, she said, and I said to myself, I just need to sit down and remember, retrace my steps. She said, I sat down here, the keys poked me in my leg, they were in my pocket.
Okay, so we're going to, at this point, put 13 aside, and if we can't get an answer from the clerk or the, what?
Do we need to make any kind of motion to
Board
say we're
attorney?
gonna?
No, we just
We're
hold
just
it,
not
we're
gonna
not gonna
hold
pass
it.
it out. We're gonna continue our meeting. Is the board
Okay.
attorney here, do you know? Check with see if the board attorney, because we can also talk to him. We'll just move on and start looking at 28.
Okay.
We can come back to that. We're gonna find problems sometimes. This is what we're supposed to do.
Well, better here than
Right.
after they're passed and into ordinance and somebody says, oh, that was a dumb thing to do.
Or that it get put in there and we don't know anything about it. Because it says to be inserted and if applicable. So if
Right.
we pass this
Right.
out.
Oh, yeah. And
there's
so
no
when do they
secret.
insert it? you know?
Exactly. Okay, Board Bill 28 is a board bill sponsored by Alderwoman Davis. It's assignment, assumption, and dual custom agreement. Okay, good. It says attachment 1. Great. I don't think we're gonna be able to take C out. I still think she's gonna have to suspend the rules and send it back, because she perfected it with this in here.
Well, it's the if applicable kind of, you're going, okay, is that, does that mean they can insert it later? Or
That if
does
we
it,
leave
is
it
it
like that,
decided now
that's
that
right.
it was not applicable and it's done? You know, in other words, they
Then-
cannot insert it
then they should've
afterwards.
taken
They should have
Exhibit
taken it
C
out of
out.
there, yeah.
And I think she's gonna probably be a little upset, and a few people are gonna be upset with us. But you have to suspend the rules, send it back. You can do it on the floor, and then it has to come back to us.
We'll let the clerk handle it.
Okay.
Okay, I make a motion that we,
We gotta wait for our clerk to come back.
oh, okay.
We can start looking at 29 too, so
Okay.
we'll have them both done. 29 is a board bill, 29 is sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, consent to change ownership and control structure.
Morning, Sherry was trying to explain to me
Okay, so-
yesterday, so let me get it from
Okay, the horse's mouth.
the boss's mouth.
So here's what's going on. We're looking at one of the board bills, 13, and it says
It is
Exhibit C.
Where are you on exhibit C, okay? Does it, it's mentioned in there, isn't it?
It says to be exerted if applicable. So we're not passing anything out. Everything else has the exhibits attached. If we pass this like this, they can put this in.
I believe that what this is, Alderwoman, is that this is probably part of their template when they do this.
I understand.
If this is not mentioned in the remainder of the bill,
Mhm.
which I don't recall if it is or not off the top of my head, does it have it mentioned in there like it applicable?
No.
Then, I see no reason why you can't take this out, but I'm confirmed with clerk. Do you want to amend it? Is that where you're
No,
at?
so I don't think we don't have the power in our, to do that. It was already perfected. What we can do is say it's not perfected. We can say it's not been engrossed. I think she has to, and this is just discussion,
Mhm.
has to suspend the rules and send it back to perfection calendar and remove this,
Mhm.
okay? And then she can send it, and then it has to be perfected, and then it'll come back here. We don't have any power. We can change titles, we can make suggestions about how to enumerate, but to take something out of here,
Mhm.
which we're not sure of, because we didn't, it doesn't say this, but I'm not passing anything out of here that says to be inserted if applicable. And then something comes up and it's been put in there, and we put our stamp on it. We're not that's not the kind of committee we're gonna be.
Okay, well, it seems like you've already made a So-
I hear what you're saying. It doesn't say that, but then that should have been taken out at perfection, in committee or on perfection. If you didn't have anything else to be put in there, you should not be leaving these pages that say to be inserted if applicable. Because if later on they come up with something, we've passed something that says it can be inserted later. You understand what I'm saying?
So the page shouldn't even be in there.
And you're saying it doesn't, I hear what you're saying, it doesn't refer to it any place in here. So long as it doesn't refer to it any place in here, but would a court say we passed it anyway, even if it didn't refer to exhibit
No,
C?
because I don't see how this is material to the interpretation of the
Okay.
bill. So if it's not mentioned in the bill, and obviously I am not the final arbiter of the rules here, Terry will be, but if it's not mentioned in the bill as far as legal interpretation, then
Right.
removing that or ignoring it has no material effect on the interpretation of the bill. It would be the same, going back to what I said, is that this seems to be from their template, and it would be the same as a Scrivener's error, in my opinion.
I hear you, and I hear what you're saying, and, but what I'm gonna say from now on, even if we can do it this time, that if
No
we decide,
superfluous attachments.
that is correct.
Okay.
That's what we're here for.
All right.
They should have caught this either in committee, or maybe in committee, they didn't know if they were gonna need it.
Right.
But most certainly, by perfection, the sponsor's responsibility is that they send us something that we don't have to ask these questions,
Understood.
okay? So, we will go back and look at it in a minute. I hear what you're saying,
Okay.
and so,
And I will bring this to the clerk's attention if you don't catch him first.
okay. Well, I've got attorney, sponsor, clerk.
Oh, you got
So
a
we-
list, you have a list?
Okay, we'll get back to that. I thank you for what you
All
say,
right.
that does make sense. But from now on, if it's in there, we're gonna just send it right back to them and make them correct it,
Okay,
okay? We'll tell people that. We'll get back to this one, because we've
All right.
already done the other two.
I'll stick around for a bit.
Okay, thank you.
So we're gonna just remove that page?
I'm gonna make sure, we wanna go back and make sure we don't see anything that says Exhibit C.
Okay.
And if
All right.
there's nothing that says, but first, since we got these other two that we already did, we'll go back to that. We already we were looking at Board Bill 28, you was getting ready to make a motion, Alderwoman Howard?
Right. I make a motion that we pass Board Bill 28 out of the Rules and Engrossment Committee with a due pass recommendation, as I find no
Second.
significant concerns.
We have a motion.
Previous role.
Have a motion to pass Board Bill 28, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, assignment and assumption and dual custom agreement out of committee with a due pass recommendation. We have a second, we have a motion for previous role. We have an objection to previous role. Hearing none, Board Bill 28 is passed out of Rules and Engrossment Committee.
I make a motion, if you want, can we go ahead
Yeah,
and proceed with 29?
Yes.
I make a motion that we pass Board Bill number 29, consent to change ownership and control structure of St. Louis City Airport. recommended by the Airport Commission, sponsored by Alderman Davis, out of the Rules and Engrossment Committee with a do pass recommendation.
Second.
Previous roll.
We have a motion that Board Bill 29, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, be passed out of the Rules and Engrossment Committee with a do-pass recommendation. We have a motion for previous roll. We have an objection to previous roll. Hearing no objection, Board Bill 29 is passed out of Rules and Engrossment with a do-pass recommendation. We're going to go back to Rule 13, and our attorney might have something.
Okay, so when you get to Article 2, Pledge of Revenues,
Mhm.
and this comes under, this is where I find it.
Okay, so he's found the art. Exhibit C. Okay,
It's part of, the only reference to it is within the contract itself. So when you go to the rest of it, so this is the.
You find
Index.
reference to C?
yes.
Well, you find it in the agreement, and it's referencing itself in the agreement.
Okay, so tell us what page. 'cause
Is
you're going
that
too fast.
exhibit at 1 or 2?
Exhibit, it should be,
Going too fast here. just-
wait a minute, it should be Exhibit 2 because it was part of Exhibit 2. One of the things we did.
So when you get, it's not part of the bill itself,
I
that
understand.
reference. So I just wanted to show you where it is referenced.
That's what we're gonna look at.
Okay, so when you, gosh, this is almost all exhibit here. Okay, so when you get to,
Now you're having the fun that we had. So we actually stapled everything together so we would know the separation, so.
this is all contract.
But there, actually, be careful, there are 2 exhibits. So we had to do of Exhibit A, A1 of Exhibit 2 and A1 of Exhibit 1, so we would know the difference.
So this is,
So is C in Exhibit 2?
Yes, it was of
Okay.
Exhibit 2, so I'm glad we did that.
okay, so here's your fiscal note.
Yes, okay, that's after page 22, so we
Right.
actually know these things.
So, okay, so then you go through the fiscal note,
Mhm.
which brings you to Exhibit 1.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Exhibit 1 is the 23rd supplemental.
We have
agreement.
that,
That's the
yes.
agreement.
And then that's.
Sorry, I just want to,
No, you're fine.
We're fine.
Make
We're
sure
working-
you're
We're learning
oriented.
these things.
Yeah.
okay.
We're working together.
So this is still that indenture.
Yes,
I'm down to 13 of it here. Okay,
you're probably gonna have to go to the second exhibit.
right, I just want to make sure here.
Yes,
That I do not skip anything.
okay.
So that is the complete contract. It does not reference it. Then
Exhibit
signature
2.
page, you can find Exhibit A, these are.
Yes,
Signature page, these sign, Exhibit E, these are the exhibits to that.
that's all to Exhibit 1.
Mhm.
That's why we did of Exhibit 1 and of Exhibit 2, so we would know what everything went with.
So now you're down to Appendix 1,
Yes. Got all of that.
Exhibit 2 attached.
Now, let me ask you
And
this.
this is the 24th.
Appendix 1 goes to Exhibit A.
Right, and it says to be inserted, so those,
Well, did that say to?
Does that-
So
need to
where
be-
it says note to be inserted, 219.
But these are projects.
Right.
This is actually different, okay? So we don't know what the projects are gonna be yet. That's why that's to be inserted. I understood that.
Okay, so that is actually, and that is part of the contract too.
Right.
It's not part of the bill.
Right.
Well, these bond contracts are long.
So,
Okay, we are getting down to.
Exhibit
Here.
2.
what
So
page?
this
12?
is- This is 12. and-
Of the 24th
Of the
supplemental
24th
indenture of trust.
Right. So the reference there, that's where Exhibit C is referenced, but that is part of that's the only reference that I found, and that is part of the agreement.
Let me see.
And then when you get into the agreement,
The project described on Exhibit C
yes.
has been designated on the portion of debt service. But it's attached hereforth and incorporated. This
Right.
is the problem that I have with this language, okay?
So then we get to B. And I am on A7 of that. That's B. And then C is to be inserted if applicable. And so that's where,
Is this
That's
still on
part of-
page 12?
that's part of the contract. So when you get down.
Wait, slow down here. Okay, I'm on page 12 where it actually, of the
Let me go back
24th, it actually does mention Exhibit C. But it actually says a project as set forth on Exhibit C attached and incorporated by reference.
Mhm. So then you go down and look for Exhibit C.
And that's where it doesn't say anything.
There's
It says
nothing
to be
there
inserted.
to be
12,
inserted.
Right. So that's the contract.
See, I don't think that's the same thing as the previous ones, okay? I hear what you're saying. It says, incorporated by reference has been designated a PFC eligible project and the portion of the debt service on the Series 2019 refunding bond attributed to such a, set forth in Exhibit C attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference.
The project
Says it's
described,
supposed to be listed. It may not be increased or decreased.
Mhm.
when they're supposed to refund the, yeah, that's,
And
So that is the exhibit within the contract.
I understand, but it's also
There's
being.
nothing there.
There's nothing there. That's my problem.
No, I
And
understand.
so this I can't pass out. So that they need to provide this for us, is what I'm saying. So I will be talking to the sponsor and the clerk.
Okay.
And if it was for purpose, we weren't gonna take it from now on. Either take it out, we're not gonna, if it's extra, we don't need it,
Mhm.
we're not taking it.
Okay.
Okay?
well, and I guess the confusing part is they're referencing it here.
Right, and
there's
telling us
nothing
exactly what
there,
should be there,
You
exactly.
know, and it's like, why would they reference it if,
It's like, CD.
I mean, even if they said Exhibit C to be determined at a later date or
Exactly.
something because
But
of
they're saying it's
the
already
sale of the
decided.
bonds, but it's
Exactly.
like, okay, well, it's not here.
So, we're not gonna pass
Not
this
to
one
split
out.
hairs, but that doesn't look good for us.
So we're gonna have to meet at 9:30.
Okay.
We're gonna give them a chance to fix it, so we're gonna meet at 9:30 Friday.
So does this come
Continue this
from,
meeting.
this come from the airport commission? So maybe we could contact them and they could figure it out and put it in there, so. I guess if they want to, so.
We're gonna continue this meeting, so we're not gonna adjourn. It's gonna be discontinued,
Oh,
and so we don't have to do the minutes until, and that'll give the other two alder people a chance.
oh, so we're gonna continue Friday?
Yes,
I
we'll
get it.
continue Friday, we'll just continue this meeting.
All righty,
Um,
I
sounds
was going
good.
to give them a call because they were working on full bond counsel on this, so they're
Okay.
gonna have to get a hold of their bond counsel. to
Okay.
go through this.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right, no problem.
Thank you. So what we don't wanna have do we wanna have do we have time to announce another meeting? Okay, so
We
we
do,
could,
yeah.
so we could pass this all out and then just call a new meeting. So this would all be done. That would be better for you guys, right? Okay, then that's what we're gonna do, okay?
Okay, I make a motion to.
First of all, we gotta, we have to do, we didn't pass, the minutes. She
Oh.
has the minutes now from,
I see.
so take a minute, we're gonna look at our minutes. We need to, motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from the previous meeting on May, where is it,
21st.
21st?
Second,
Motion and a second.
previous roll.
Motion for previous roll. Any objections? Hearing no objections, the minutes are passed. As to excused alder people, I did get something from Alderman Oldenburg, he is excused. I give everybody one time that they don't contact me, so this is Alderwoman Green's one time, and Vollmer is not excused. Okay, so we have Vollmer unexcused, Green excused, and Oldenburg excused. Okay, is there any other business that the committee wants to bring before this committee? Any announcements? Not.
Oh, I guess I have a question.
Okay, yes.
Are we going to continue to meet on Tuesdays, or have we decided?
Well, Friday, if everybody comes, we can have another discussion. I think this was really good for you, wasn't it, Larry?
Well,
Alderman, I'm sorry.
almost any time during the week. Fridays would be my hardest.
Okay,
Oh, to get here
And I-
early
yeah.
on Fridays?
Well, and I can work around my committee here.
so, well, what we talked about even was just doing it Friday afternoon, like, while we were
Right.
all here, just meeting then, but then that was a problem for some people. So, I mean, we try to do the
I
best.
don't have a problem with the meeting, it's
I
just
know.
by Friday, I am tired and
I
I'm
get
not,
it.
you know, I'm
I
not
don't love
really-
Tuesdays either, especially after the holiday Monday,
Right,
okay?
right.
But that was just the best we
But I
could do.
would, I mean, if we could do, you know, I don't know,
I mean, I'm-
Wednesday or Thursday morning, I don't know, right now with the budget, you know, is sort of, but if we could do a standing, maybe even Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock or something, I don't know.
Well, we're gonna call another meeting for
Well,
Friday.
when we get everybody here,
And so
we'll see
everybody
what
will be here,
works.
because we'll just have to do what's the best, or otherwise we'll keep doing Tuesday. It was hard for me today too, because I'm full of barbecue.
I hear you. You know, it was like, oh.
And Sterling didn't have to go to work
I still
today,
have
so I
house,
really.
I still have house guests, and it's like, okay.
Okay, anything else?
No,
Okay,
I make a motion to adjourn.
second?
I thought we were continuing.
No, we're not gonna continue, because that way we can
Oh,
pass out
okay.
everything that we have except this.
Second, previous roll.
Any objections to adjourning?
No,
Have no objections, then this meeting is adjourned.
thank you.